From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening here on Evenings LA with incredible great details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. In this recording, we're going to go over how much you're going to get in this fourth stimulus package. That fourth stimulus check, that'll be the single biggest payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel. Monthly stimulus checks. We'll go over the breaking news and why it's absolutely wonderful. Then in the second half of this video, we go over the fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits up a lifetime and why it's a lot more money than what Elizabeth Warren proposed. Then in the middle of this recording, we have thousands of dollars that viewers continue to get, and it's your day to get that money as well. It's a big night. It's a big evening. We have a lot of breaking details and a lot of breaking news and a lot of money for you to get. Let's get to all the wonderful details, and we're starting right this minute, right here, right now, on Evenings LALATE. Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? You made it to the evening. You're almost to the weekend. You're halfway through. Just the weekend's just like a blink away. Only thing that's better, some more bacon. How are you? It's Evenings LA. I hope the weather is good where you are. Drop in the comments where you're watching from and how's the weather. And if you're an international viewer, I'd love to see you as well. A lot of new international viewers tuning in as well. It suddenly got quite sunny here. It was June gloom this morning, but finally the sun is coming out here in Santa Monica. Hope you are wonderful. In this fourth stimulus check updated 2021 today, we go over the breaking news that impacts this fourth stimulus, the monthly stimulus check, how much you're going to get, when you're going to get it, and all the details. Then in the second half of this video, we go over the breaking details that suggest that fifth stimulus raise up of your benefits, especially if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, veterans benefits, maybe a lot more. Ooh, getting exciting. And then in the middle of this recording, we go over the thousands of dollars that viewers continue to get. And then at the end of this video, a surprise announcement of something coming back. Yes. So subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Live in the morning, taped in the evenings. Right before this was afternoon's LALATE. Coming up next is evenings crypto and overnight crypto and overnight's LALATE. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Next stop, 1 million. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's get right to the breaking details about that fourth stimulus check by understanding the House bill and the Senate proposal. The House bill provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate bill, on the other hand, provides a stimulus check over a shorter period of time. So let's go over the details and understand how it works. Jalapal's House bill provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic, monthly, plus 1 year. The Senate proposal, on the other hand, is July to December. The Senate proposal provides a stimulus check unknown. The House proposal is $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. And while the Senate amount may be unknown, word on the street is it's this. Wow. $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. Now, if you're watching this when it debuts, this show at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, jump into the live chat and vote Senate or House. Tell me where you're tuning in from. And if you're watching it later in the evening, jump in the comments under the video. But not just yet. Let's go back to something with Jalapal's provision that may get modified because of macroeconomics. The House bill of Jalapal's is pandemic plus 1 year, but the pandemic may be over in a year, may be over before they vote. If that's the case, that would only result in 12 months of checks. 12 months of checks under Jalapal's bill is $13,000 over 12 months. Let's compare that to the Senate in over 6 months. Oh yeah, I think you have an opinion now. Senate versus House. Jump into the comments and vote right now and tell me where you're watching from. All right, let's go over the other details you need to know about this for stimulus checks. First, who gets it? You get it. If you got the third stimulus check, you'll get the fourth stimulus checks. First, single individual, $75,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Married couple, you get the fourth stimulus check, double it. Then a household 4 or less, you get the forced stimulus check, quadruple it. And finally, if you're on benefits, you get the forced stimulus check. Congratulations. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, you get this forced stimulus checks. The forced stimulus checks are not taken out for income, but for taxes because they're not income. We do not know anything about child support, but we do know that the forced stimulus checks would be the same amount for everyone. Single individuals, adult dependents, minors, everyone will get the same amount of the forced stimulus check. We also know that the forced stimulus check would start in the month of July because of the representations of congressional leaders. Remember, I'm just a reporter. I report the news. I don't make representations. They do. And they report that the vote would be by July 4th, finishing out the finality of the entire process by July 4th. That means the first check in the month of July for the month of July, then in the month of August for the month of August, and then away we go. That is the start of your forced stimulus check update of 2021 today in this recording. But we ain't done yet. Coming up in a second, I'm going to go over the breaking news, and also I'm going to go over how to ensure that you know where along the process we are in the reconciliation, which has already begun. But first, a preview of the second half of this video. In the second half of this video, we turn to fifth stimulus that heats up by raising your benefits up to a big new number. And you're going to see for the first time ever why that number is getting a little bit modified, potentially, based upon economic factors. And we'll compare it against the Elizabeth Warren plan. It wins. It really wins. But first, let's turn to some big money that I want you to get. If you're new to this channel has always been dedicated to getting viewers money. I'm not a person who just reads newspaper clippings. That's not what I do on this channel. I get viewers money. I got viewers $25 million in EIDL loans, singularly helping people get EIDLs approved one after another last year. Then in fall of last year, I got viewers $250,000 in rent and utilities. Now, my focus is again, still cashing checks for you. I want you cashing checks, not tracking a stimulus check. And it starts with this exciting details. Get a pen and paper ready because I got a lot of money to get you in this video starting right now. If you got money, I'm going to get you some more. So let's get to it. First, there's $250 billion for you. No, not all 250 billion is for you. It's a share. You know, you can have 249 and I'll have one. But no, it's to share. It's coming from the federal government to the cities and counties and states for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners utilities, and I want you to get it. It starts with that rent, and that rent is about $5,000. Wow. 4 to 6 months of rent. It's available in 6 locations, and what's important to know before we go over them, get that pen ready, is that the 6 locations have different eligibilities. So one may say no, and another one may say yes. Reach out to each of them. They also have their own pot of money. All right, let's go to each of them. First, City Hall, City Housing Authority, County Hall, County Housing Authority, and State Hall and State Housing Authority. The key words you're going to say is rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage assistance because of COVID. You do not say stimulus. You also don't say popcorn. They'll be like, what do you mean popcorn? Is that AMC stocks? No, we're not giving away free popcorn. Let's just, no, you have to say the correct words. As you say popcorn, they won't know what you're talking about. Or stimulus. So don't say those words. And that is about $5,000 for rent. Go get that money. It's available for you. Wonderful. About 4 to 6 months of rent. And congratulations to Tim and Linda, who just recently got it, and the other viewers who got it as well. The next pot of money is just wonderful. It has been one of the big success stories of this channel because so many viewers have gotten it. One viewer yesterday, I think it was Mornings LA, got $490 a month, I think it was. I mean, just a lot of money for herself and I think one family member. Just wonderful. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, her son, and her mom. And then Gail got it for herself as well. What is this? It's SNAP. It is SNAP. Well, first, what is SNAP? Then, how much is it, and how do you get it? Let's go over the details. First, what is it? It is money for food. It is money for food. So, how do you get it? Reach out to the Department of Agriculture. Ask for SNAP, and don't ask for popcorn either. Ask for SNAP. You want to get on SNAP, and you can also get contacted. But you can also reach out to the Department of Agriculture by calling 211. They'll transfer you over. How much money is it? It's a lot. It's $16,000 for a family of 4 in Hawaii. Why so much money? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders, one from Biden and one from Trump that raised everyone's benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get that money. And guess what? I got more money for you right now. $5,000 of it, one viewer got. It's wonderful. And what is it? It is money coming from your state. We're going to go over how much it is, how you get it, and when you get it, starting right now. First, how do you get this money? The federal government has ordered states to return money back to you. What is this money? State unemployment offices had overpaid you unemployment assistance due to computer error. Well, and then they asked you to return it back, which you did. Well, the federal government has identified these states and said, nope, that was the citizens' money to keep. States must be returning that money back to the citizens immediately. Wow. Now that is wonderful. And yes, one of you got $5,000 out of this. So how are you going to get it? From the unemployment office to the account you have on file. Finally, when? Each state has different routing times, so reach out to your respective state. Next, well, there's a big pot of money over here, and one viewer got it on a Friday, another viewer got it a few days before, and she got $2,000 for it. What is it? It's wonderful. It is the money you're getting back from IRS for the taxes you paid on your 2020 unemployment benefits. Let's go over how much it is, how you get it, when you get it, and how to track it. First, how much is it? It's a lot. Here's an example. Let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment benefits. You paid a total $5,000 tax bill to IRS, of which $4,000 was your taxes on the unemployment assistance. You're getting back $4,000. Congratulations. Next, how do you get the money? In the mail. This is probably the most important thing you need to know. In the mail. And it's a very razor-thin envelope. So go surgically, slowly through the mail for the next few weeks because you could absolutely throw it away if you're not careful. Then how are you going to get it? In the mail or direct deposit if that was listed on your bank account. Finally, when? The next 2 weeks of June. All the checks were sent out in May, and the checks are landing in the month of June. Finally, tracking? Yes. So go to irs.gov, sign in with a username and password, and create an account with your Social Security number, and then do a transcript search. The transcript search will 70% of the time work and reveal you filed the tax return, will reveal the date that they got the check and the date they sent you back a check. Wow, now that's wonderful. Is there anything more wonderful than that? Yes, more forced stimulus check updates in 2021 starting right now. And it starts with Leader Schumer. Leader Schumer, just a few days ago, confirmed not one, but all three details which I have been reporting over the last few weeks about this forced stimulus check update. First, the forced stimulus is currently underway with reconciliation. It was officially announced a few days ago, but it had already been underway. They have already been writing the forced stimulus legislation. Number two, the forced stimulus will go for a final vote on July 4th. The prior voting steps I'll go over just later in this video. And finally, Leader Schumer confirms that the reconciliation process will finish with or without any further negotiations between the president and other legislators. Wonderful news. So how did we get to that spot? Let's go back over what had happened in the other breaking news leading up to Leader Schumer's announcement. It started with Jalopal. Jalopal wrote that House bill, and when Jalopal wrote that House bill, 100-plus Democrats wrote a letter to the president asking for the president, or informing the president actually, that they will be putting those multiple stimulus checks into the forced stimulus package. Well, Jalopal got the ball rolling again when Jalopal recently wrote a letter to Leader Schumer saying, call the vote on the reconciliation. What are we waiting for here? Well, the reason why Jalopal wrote that letter was because the legislation has ostensibly been written almost, and there's no reason to wait around any longer. And that's what Chuck Schumer basically agreed to. Now, the letter got even better because approximately 12 members of the House co-signed Jalopal's letter to Schumer, and those members are among those that had signed that letter to the president saying they're putting multiple stimulus checks in the forced stimulus package. Oh boy, that's good. Can I get better? Yeah, we can get better. And it's this letter. This letter is just shocking. The letter was written by 7 House members to the President of the United States, and in that letter, they tell the President they will be working with him to put multiple stimulus checks monthly into the forced stimulus package. Well, work with him is a euphemism because the President doesn't write the legislation. They do. They're the legislature. So who are these people to say they are going to write it? They are the people who do write it. They are the people who are on the subcommittee that solely, exclusively, and only are responsible for tasking and writing and finishing the stimulus check legislation in the United States government. Yes. I think this is wonderful news. It is. And they wrote the first stimulus check. Yeah, they did. And the second stimulus check. Yep, they did. And the third. Yep, and they did. And they're going to write the fourth, they say. Captain Obvious, are you outside the door? Are you knocking, coming on in with Javita later? Are you tripping on one of Javita's scarves? Boy, can we get better than that? We can't get better than that. When the president this last Tuesday did a really fascinating move, not this Tuesday, but the Tuesday before that, he reached out to the global leaders about the global corporate tax rate. As I go out of focus right there. The camera didn't like hearing about global corporate tax rate. Don't worry, Mr. Camera. What is global corporate tax rate? Global corporate tax rate refers to if you move a corporation, let's say from New York to France. So what did the president get? He got the countries around the globe, the G7 countries, to tentatively agree to 15% global minimum corporate tax rate. Okay, so what does that do for us? Here's the other part of the story. The president told insiders later that day that after forced stimulus becomes law, he's going to reach back out to those G7 countries and have them sign on the dotted line to formalize that $15 minimum global corporate tax rate. And once they do, he's going to drop our U.S. corporate tax rate back closer to where it is right now. Oh my goodness. Drop the U.S. corporate tax rate and also send out multiple stimulus checks? Can it get any better than that? Yeah, it did. When the president of the United States said last Wednesday, just call the vote, Chuck. And then on Thursday, several Senate Democrats, not Chuck, but others came out and said, just call the vote, Chuck. What are we doing? Just call the vote. And here we are. We are calling the vote. Later in this video, I'll be going over what calling the vote means, how many steps are involved in calling the vote, where the reconciliation process is currently right now, and what you can do as a familiar face comes back to this channel. It's all getting great news, but it's even better because I'm going to give you now the volunteers. If you have had problems finding rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, or internet, reach out to the volunteers. They are viewers just like you, and they are salt of the earth. The spirit of this channel has always been trying to help one another, and they want to help you. So if you can't find the money on your own, reach out to the volunteers. How do you find the volunteers? On the community page. Open the description to this video. Go down the description. You'll see an emoji of a house. Then it says community page. Click on the link that sends you over to news.lalate.com/community. On that page is a picture of some kitty cats. Those are not the volunteers. Those are not the volunteers. Lower below the kitty cats is the volunteers. And then you can reach out to them. They can help you get that rent, utilities, and internet. And guess what? I got big exciting news still about forced stimulus, the routing times, all the details you need to know about how the voting process unfolds. As a familiar face returns back to the channel. And big exciting details still about fifth stimulus coming up in the second half of this recording. Stay with me. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as Evenings LA continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LALATE as we go into an evening section about fourth stimulus. I still have more updates for you coming up in the second half of this video about that fourth stimulus check of 2021. And we turn to fifth stimulus as well. So subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Next with you with evening's crypto, and then after that is overnight's crypto, followed with our new expanded overnight's broadcast. 2 reruns tonight at 11 o'clock, 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 11:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as well. Subscribe. I want you part of this family. Like this video and consider becoming a member. More about that membership link at the top of the chat in just a second. Let's turn to fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus is really, really getting wonderful. Fifth stimulus heats up this fall by raising up your benefits. The beneficiaries will see an incredible reform of the system, and let's go over that reform starting right now. First, they'll raise up your benefit limits. Then they'll add a new asset limit. They'll remove the inflation. They'll add an inflationary benchmark, remove the marriage penalty, and remove the income exclusion. Let's go over what that means, the calculations, the breaking news, and how this differs from Elizabeth Warren's plan. All right, first, they're going to raise your benefits up under the fifth stimulus. Who's you? You. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, rural benefits, veteran benefits, survivor benefits, and SSA, and multiple beneficiaries. Raise your benefits up one big time. Then they're going to apply a benchmark. That benchmark is inflation. What is a benchmark? Every December you get a letter that says, hi, the benchmark suggests the number went up, so your benefits either go up or they stay the same. Now, determining what the inflationary rate will be this December has become a very big topic of discussion. Jeremy Siegel said it may be 20%. The Federal Reserve out of Georgia said it could be very high because we're currently seeing growth at 4%, and they're expecting it to be 10.5% by December. That looks like 7% inflation. A lot of analysts are talking about 3 to 7%. One viewer sent me a message earlier, thought it was going to be 30% inflation. Here's what you need to know. Is a new report came out this morning that suggested maybe not so much. The report was talking about auto sales, and there's a chip shortage currently of chips, semiconductor chips. As a result, less available new cars for dealers to sell, but it's still strong demand. The new report shows that the highest demand they've ever seen in the history of auto sales, where the lead time between the car landing on the port and landing in the driveway is a mere 7 days. Literally, the cars are landing and they're selling immediately. Now, here's what the rest of the report said, that by the fall, it could reverse, that there'd be a lot of inventory and not a lot of demand because of deflation. Interesting. Inflation, deflation. Here's what you need to know. Most think it's going to be 3 to 7%. Let's use 6 as an example. If your benchmark is 6% inflation in December, this is how it would work. First, they raise up your benefits. Then in December, they say, 6% inflation. We're going to step you up 6% more for next year. But not just for next year, lifetime. Because the way that benefits works is that once they step you up, they never step you down. So if the year after that inflation is 0, they do not step you down. They still keep you at plus 6%. The year after that, the inflation is 1%, then they put you at plus 1, plus 6%. It is wonderful, wonderful news. Then they'll apply a removal of the asset cap, just in time to get those stimulus checks in the hand, because the asset cap prevents you from having about more than $3,000 in hand. Then they're going to remove the income exclusion, dating back to a very old 1960s law, says you can't work. Now you'll be able to work. And finally, the marriage penalty. Finally, love is going to win because the marriage penalty is going to go away. A horrible law that penalizes you if you're married and prevents you from getting married for fear of losing benefits. Love is going to win. That's fifth stimulus that starts in September, out the door in October-ish. Benefits likely to impact in November, they represent, and then the step up, of course, January after that letter, the prior December. Now, how does that compare against the Warren plan? It pays a lot more money because the Warren plan was going to give you a benchmark of CPIE. Inflation is the benchmark you want to have because inflation is expected to be the massive number, the highest number of a generation this December. And when that is applied to your benefits, then your benefits are lifted up not just this December, but lifetime. Also, Warren was not going to give you these other add-ons, like the removal of the marriage penalty or the income exclusion or the asset exclusion. So a lot more money. What else is in fifth stimulus? Well, in a given 30-minute video, I don't have time to go over everything that's in fifth stimulus. That's why it's valuable to become a member. The link's at the top of the chat and the pinned comment. Members are sent via the community page on YouTube every day, a delineation of what's in the fifth stimulus package, the fourth stimulus package, and the third stimulus package. So you know what money you're entitled to. What's important to know is that, for example, the fifth stimulus has some money for single individuals, hazard pay single individuals, also money for seniors. Fourth stimulus has a lot of other provisions that I don't have time to detail. So the membership provides you that opportunity by sending you, if by email, if you have your YouTube membership linked to your email account, a delineation of everything that's in fifth, fourth, and third every single day. If you cannot become a member, then at least subscribe. Because when we get to the month of July, it is going to be a very crowded month. There's a lot of things happening in the month of July that look sort of the same. And when you look at one of them, you may think it's this one, but it's not. Finally, let's turn back to fourth stimulus. Fourth stimulus, and a surprise, a familiar face coming back to this channel. Fourth stimulus heats up with the reconciliation process currently underway. Here's what you need to know, is that the reconciliation process involves approximately 9 voting steps, which I'm going to explain to you right now. Reconciliation is not a one vote, cash a check situation. And those 9 steps are required by the Constitution. There's no way to do them faster. They're not created by legislators. They're not created by any party. There's no way to get rid of a step. It's required by the Constitution. The first half are procedural, the second half are substantive. Let's go over the details. Step 1, the House votes on the procedural bill. Step 2, the House floor votes on the procedural bill. Step 3, the Senate votes on the procedural bill. Step 4, the President signs the procedural bill into law. At this point, the tow truck, the procedural bill, has passed over the finish line. Time to go get the tow hitch, the substantive bill. Step 5, the House subcommittee votes on the substantive bill. It's at that point that House subcommittee, the House Ways and Means, could put in those multiple stimulus checks at the House level. They don't have to, but they could. Step 6, the House floor votes on the substantive bill. And then step 7 and 8, the Senate has a 2-day vote-a-rama. During that vote-a-rama, the senators introduce amendments. They can introduce amendments if the House had a stimulus check provision in there and the senators want to modify it. They can introduce an amendment if the House Democrats had no stimulus checks in at the House level. Then the senators can put an amendment in to add stimulus checks. That is step 7 and 8. And finally, step 9, the President signs into law. 9 voting steps. Can't cut the corners, can't do them shorter, required by the Constitution. Those 9 voting steps ensure that we get to the finish line. But here's what you need to know, is that a familiar face is coming back to this channel, and that familiar face is Purple Power. Purple Power is back, baby, and back on, as I used to say, because it's time to push. You know, if you don't know, let me explain, that this channel has been very, very successful in pushing, because sometimes legislators don't push themselves. In fall of last year, I solely came up with an idea, and it changed U.S. history. It was my only idea on this channel to put stimulus into a continuing resolution. I came up with the idea, and I came up with the idea to put stimulus checks into the continuing resolution in fall of last year. It came after no opportunity seemed to be manifesting itself. We didn't look like we were going to get second stimulus at all. With no time left before the end of the year, I said, let's try to get stimulus into the CR. And you got the push behind it. And ultimately, we won. But initially, it would look like we weren't going to win. Why? Because some legislators tried to take our push and turn it into only unemployment stimulus, not stimulus checks. We pushed back and made sure that it was stimulus checks in the CR, not just stimulus. And we won. Now, it's important to understand that Purple Power needs to push once again. Why? Because we don't sit back for these legislators. It doesn't make a difference if it becomes law. It doesn't make a difference if it becomes bill. It doesn't make a difference if it comes to a vote. Until it's actually formalized, these legislators have before not delivered often what they have represented and promised, as I started this video with. Let's look back. CARES Act in December, the Cash Act in December of last year was to provide $3,200 to adult dependents who had not gotten prior stimulus checks. They didn't deliver. In January, the Georgia Democrats ran on the platform that they were going to give you more than $2,000 stimulus checks. They didn't deliver. And then how about the laws? The laws like the EIDL loans were going to be increased, haven't in some cases. The EIDL grants, the remainder of $10,000 was to be paid, in some cases hasn't been paid. And then the EIDL grant, a new $5,000 EIDL grant was going to be paid, hasn't been paid as well. So we've seen a lot of cases where there is a bill and they don't deliver, or there is a law and they still don't deliver. That's why we have to always push. And with that, let's start pushing. Hashtag Purple Power. Hashtag MSC. Go on Twitter, tag your elected officials. Make it very clear. They got to put these multiple stimulus checks in this forced stimulus package. It's forced stimulus. You are owed it, and you should be getting it. And there you go. I'm next back with you on Evenings Crypto and Overnights Crypto. That is a fun group of shows, and we're having a lot of laughs. We are. We now have moments throughout the night where we have 2 live chats going on at the same time. So if you want to be Jekyll and Hyde at the same time, if you want to be a multi-personality at the same time, you can. Live crypto overnight and evenings crypto air at the same time. And then at 9 o'clock, overnight's LALATE and live crypto air at the same time. And then overnight's show number 2 and live crypto air at the same time. So you can be in 2 chat rooms at the same time. And we've seen a lot of funny moments where viewers are sort of jumping inside and out of multiple live shows at the same time, or instant premiere shows. So with that, subscribe. I don't want you to miss an opportunity for the multi-room fun fanfare or the vampire moments that unfold overnight. Like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member, or at least a vampire. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful evening. I'm going to see you next on all the crypto footage and the overnight shows on Stimulus. Stay informed, stay focused, always stay motivated, keep on pushing. Remember, you want to stay positive, you want to stay purple power, and you want to stay on focus. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA.